At the beginning of the film, we meet Bimo and Sari. They are a married couple, and Bimo is preparing to travel to an island called Borneo, where he has been assigned to teach the local children as a teacher. Sari was supposed to go with him, and the management had arranged a car for them, along with a local tour guide from Borneo. While driving, the driver casually tells Bimo that the island has a very small population because a devastating flood hit the area last year. He says he doesn't think there would even be a school there. Bimo replies that there is a school and that he has researched it. According to the records, only 7 children study there. The driver then explains more about the island, saying that the people who live there follow certain rules and traditions. Bimo and his wife will also have to follow those same traditions and rituals. Cutting him off, the tour guide adds that when he first came to the island, he didn't know about these customs either. He didn't follow some of the traditions, which made the villagers very angry, and he had to suffer a lot because of it. When asked what kind of suffering, he doesn't explain. As they continue their journey, Sari suddenly hears someone screaming. When she looks out the window, she sees a flying female head, which terrifies her. She tells the other 3 about it, but no one believes her. She is so shaken that the others try to calm her down. She keeps insisting that she sees a flying head with no body, but no one takes her seriously. Suddenly, Sari starts vomiting, and they are forced to stop the car. All of a sudden, they hear a sound coming from the jungle, as if something is rushing toward them. When they look, they realize a coffin is moving in their direction. Terrified, they quickly get back into the car and try to start it, but the car won't start. The driver asks Bimo and Sari if they have any lucky charms. When they say no, he asks if they have eggs or rice. They have some eggs which they throw toward the coffin. After that, the car finally starts, and they drive away. Behind them, a scary black hand is shown emerging from inside the coffin. Soon, morning arrives, and they reach a nearby village where they stop to eat. Sari is still shaken, and Bimo tries to calm her down. Sari asks what that coffin really was. The tour guide explains that on this island, when people die, they are not buried. Instead, their bodies are placed in coffins and hung from trees. Among those who practice black magic, the spirits of the Geru remain restless like this. After death, they hunt and feed on humans, and such coffins have often been seen here in Borneo. After that, they continue their journey from this place. Bimo tells Sidi that if she wants, she can go to her mother, but Sidi says no, she wants to stay with him. As they moved forward, a teacher named Tanjan and the village secretary welcomed them to the village. The village head had sent a boat for Bimo and Sidi, which they were supposed to use to travel further into the village. Tanjan tells them to go ahead, saying he has to go teach at another school. Bimo and Sidi get on the boat and head toward the village. Meanwhile, Tanjan asks the tour guide if anything unusual happened along the way. The tour guide says yes. First, a Kuyang appeared in front of them, and then a flying coffin, which terrified them both. Tanjan responds, okay. They're gonna face a lot of difficulties here. The arrival of this girl had already been foretold, not specifically Sidi, but the villagers had predicted that a woman from another island would come here. What the outcome of that will be, only time will tell. It is then shown that Bimo and Sidi have reached the village. The village secretary drops them off at the edge of the village and leaves. From there, they have to continue on their own. The path through the dense jungle frightens both of them. Along the way, they see many coffins hanging from trees which deeply disturb Sidi. Bimo tries to calm her down and somehow gets them out of that area. Moving forward, they ask an old woman for directions to the school. She gives them the directions, but they notice that the woman and a man standing with her are staring at them in a very strange way. When they finally arrive at the school, the first person they meet is the principal. He gives them a cabin to stay in and shares a meal with them. While eating, the principal tells them that last year a devastating flood hit their village. Because of that flood, many children lost their lives. Most of the young people migrated elsewhere, and now only 7 children are left studying at the school. The kids may be together, but it's also their responsibility to make their future bright. Suddenly, in the middle of the meal, the principal stands up and says, "I forgot to tell you one more thing. It's our tradition to take a portion of our food and offer it outside in the forest. The reason behind this is our belief that whatever nature gives us, we must return a share of it back to nature." After saying this, before leaving, the principal tells Shri, if you want, you can come and teach at the school. It will keep your mind engaged, and you won't have to spend the whole day sitting at home. Both of them agree with the principal's suggestion. After that, Bimo walks the principal outside. As soon as he steps out, Siri senses some movement, and we see a strange old woman watching her closely. Outside, while talking to the principal, Bimo mentions a strange couple he had seen in the forest, staring at them in a very unsettling way. The principal laughs and says their names are Along and Tumbi. Their children went missing, and after that, the villagers began to neglect them. Eventually, they moved away from the village and started living in the forest because the villagers believe that Tumbi practices black magic and that she was responsible for the flood. The woman the principal was talking about is the same woman who is still watching Siri. The principal leaves. Everyone goes to sleep, but in the middle of the night, there's a knock on the door. When Bimo gets up to check, a woman suddenly rushes into their house. It's Tumbi. She doesn't say anything, but she stares at both of them closely, places her hand on Shri's stomach, and then leaves. That strange act leaves both of them completely terrified. By morning, the two of them report everything to the principal. The principal laughs and says, "Oh, there's nothing to worry about." Tommy does this with every newcomer. Soon after that, both of them begin their duties. In the class where Shri was teaching, there were only 4 students. But the moment she lifted her eyes from the book and looked at the children, she suddenly started seeing the ghosts of dead children all around the classroom. This terrified her. She rushes home and tells Bimo everything. Bimo says, "I don't think anything like that actually happened. It must have been your imagination. Maybe you let the driver's words get into your head too much. Don't overthink it." After saying this, Bimo leaves. Soon after, Shri notices the shadow of a man behind the curtain. When she goes to the window and pulls the curtain aside, there's no one there. Later that night, while having dinner, she tells Bimo, "Bimo, I feel like someone is watching us all the time." Bimo replies, "That's not true. You're just overthinking. Everything will be fine. Try interacting with the local people here. If you respect them, they'll look after you too." The next day, we see both Bimo and Shri at the school. They're playing with the children when suddenly they notice Tombi standing near a tree in the distance. Almost immediately after that, they hear a schoolgirl screaming. When they rush inside to check, they see that a girl has broken through the roof and entered the classroom from above. To save her, Bimo climbs onto a table and reaches up into the roof. Inside, he finds a student in a possessed state. Before Bimo can do anything, he hears Shri screaming from another room. When they rush there, they see that Shri is locked inside, surrounded by the spirits of many children. These are the ghosts of dead children, pointing toward her stomach and repeatedly chanting, "Sacrifice! Sacrifice!" Hearing this makes Shri even more terrified, and she starts experiencing severe pain in her abdomen. After some time, the door of the room where Shri was trapped opens on its own. Shri is found lying unconscious inside. Meanwhile, the girl who had been inside the classroom roof and was behaving strangely also loses consciousness. The scene cuts to nighttime, where we see Shri resting at home when suddenly a Count crashes through her window. The Kuyang is a spirit found on Borneo Island, whose body separates and whose head flies through the air surrounded by fire. As soon as the Kuyang attacks Shri, she realizes that it's none other than Tombi. Before Tammy can do anything to her, Shri suddenly wakes up, and we find out that everything she saw was just a bad dream. The next morning, the school principal comes to their house to inform them that the incident that happened at school the previous day has left the children terrified. Because of this, the school will remain closed for the day, and they are also advised not to come. After that, the principal asks about Shri's health, which is still not good, and also passes along a message from the village chief, who wants to meet both of them. Bimo and Siri go to meet the chief, who then takes them to meet a girl named Mina. Mina is a shaman who inherited her magical abilities from her family. To find out what happened to Shri the previous night, Mina holds her hand and examines her. She then reveals that Shri is pregnant, something even Siri herself didn't know. Siri is happy to hear this, but the village chief suddenly becomes angry. He says that if she was pregnant, she should have told them earlier. Siri doesn't understand why they're so upset and asks what the real problem is. Mina then explains that there is an ongoing prophecy in the village. The villagers believe that a pregnant woman from another island will arrive, and through her, a demon living on the island will be completed. Once that happens, the demon will become powerful enough to rule the island and completely destroy it. Hearing this, both Siri and Bimo are terrified. Mina tells them not to be afraid and says she will do something. She takes some leaves and casts a spell on them, then asks a man to boil the leaves. During this time, Shri suddenly loses consciousness. When Mina tries to wake her up, Siri regains consciousness, but she starts acting very strangely as if she is possessed. Her entire face turns black, and her eyes change in a frightening way. As her condition worsens, the weather outside also turns violent. Dark clouds gather, and a powerful storm begins, suggesting that what the villagers feared might now be coming true. Mina manages to control Siri and forces her to drink the bitter liquid made from the boiled leaves, which finally calms her down. After this, the scene cuts to the village chief, holding a secret meeting with some of his companions. The village secretary tells the head that before anything bad happens here, they need to take control of the situation. He says he believes Tommy is behind all of this because she is mute, and her husband protects her body. He suggests that they should kill her and put an end to it before she starts ruling over their village like a terrible nightmare. After all this discussion, the principal goes to meet Tani. Tani was also a shaman, not a very powerful one, but he could handle small problems. He tells the principal and Bimo that he had personally created a security circle around the school and had given all the children protection amulets. Even then, somehow the demon managed to possess the girl. This means the demon is far more powerful than they had imagined. Bimo then tells him, "Forget all that, and tell me this. Do you have any amulet for Siri?" Tani replies that he doesn't have anything for Siri at the moment, but he does have something special. He has strands of a Kuyang's hair, which move when taken near a real Kuyang. He explains that he found these hairs on his bed when the Kuyang came to kill his son and his wife. Here we see that Bimo starts preparing to go back home because his wife and children are now in danger. He hurriedly packs up, but just as they're about to leave, Tanjin arrives with bad news. The boat going to the city didn't arrive today. Now they won't be able to go to the city until morning. Tanjin also tells them not to worry, saying he will place some protective spells around their house so they'll be safe from all evil forces. He warns them that no matter what happens, they must not step outside the room until morning. As the night grows darker, they suddenly hear movement near their house. The Kuyang is flying around their home, and soon they feel it above the roof. At that moment, they also hear the Kuyang's terrifying, pain-filled screams, which leaves them completely shaken with fear. Somehow the night passes. In the morning, when they head out to go to the city, they see that the boat has been burned down, and they know the Kuyang must have done it. Bimo notices that many people standing near the boat suddenly start getting possessed, while Tombi watches everything silently from a distance. As soon as Bimo moves toward Tombi, she disappears. When he returns to Siri, he realizes that in all the chaos, his wife Siri has gone missing. He starts searching for her everywhere. But when Siri can't be found anywhere, he becomes extremely worried and comes near the school to look for her. There he runs into the same little girl who had been possessed the day before. When Bimo asks her about Siri, she points toward the forest. As Bimo moves in that direction, he finds Siri's scarf and jewelry there. But one bracelet he finds is something Siri had never worn. Suddenly, he remembers seeing a similar bracelet on the secretary's wrist. Bimo goes to the secretary's house and starts fighting, saying, "I know you're the one who kidnapped Siri. Look, I found your bracelet near her clothes." But Bimo suddenly goes quiet when he sees that the secretary is still wearing her bracelet. The same kind of bracelet is also found with Tanzan. News of Siri going missing spreads across the entire town. That's why the village head and Mina also arrive to meet Bimo. Mina tells him that if he finds Tanjin's bracelet there, it means Tanjin is the one who kidnapped his wife. He is the one helping Tambi. Now Mina performs a spell to find Siri. The spell creates smoke, and that smoke leads them to Siri. As soon as they reach her, the Kuyang tries to scare them, but Bimo gathers his courage and manages to rescue his wife Siri, who is unconscious at that moment. They pick her up and bring her to a cabin in the forest. Mina realizes that the Kuyang has already found out about their location. So first she chants a protective spell around the cabin, so the Kuyang can't enter. Then she goes inside the room and starts performing a ritual on Siri. Outside, the secretary and Bimo are told to go and kill Tombi, so she can't perform black magic on Siri again. When they reach Tombi, they see that she is still performing black magic. Just before they can kill her, Tommy stops them and says that what they're seeing isn't the truth. The real truth is that there is another Kuyang in the village besides her, and that Kuyang is the one after Siri. She says she was only trying to protect Siri's unborn child because she knew the other Kuyang would sacrifice the baby to increase her powers. The scene then cuts to Tanjin, who was still searching for the real Kuyang using strands of hair. When he takes the hair to Tombi, it doesn't move, but as soon as he goes to Mina, the hair starts moving. So the biggest twist in the story was that the Mina everyone believed was good, the one they trusted and were getting treatment from, was actually the real culprit. She was the Kuyang demon. To fully regain her powers, she needed to sacrifice Sri's unborn child, and she had already begun that ritual. Earlier in the story, when Tombi placed her hand on Sri's stomach, Sri had cast protective spells on her baby, but Mina had already broken those spells. Once the truth comes out, Bimo rushes in to save his wife Sri. And at the same time, Tombi also arrives in her Kuyang form. Just as Mina is about to sacrifice Sri's child, she hears movement outside the cabin. It turns out to be Tangan and the secretary. Mina captures and kills them, then goes back to completing her mission. Right before she can succeed, Tombi shows up and starts fighting her. Mina also transforms into her Kuyang form, and a brutal fight breaks out between the two. The battle gets so intense that the cabin catches fire. Sri is still lying inside, but Bimo somehow gathers the courage to pull her out and save her. We then learn that Tanjin isn't completely dead yet. Before dying, he gives Bimo some Kuyang hair and tells him to find the real body of the Kuyang and destroy it. This isn't easy because the Kuyang's body is guarded by many dead spirits. Still, Bimo doesn't give up. Using the hair, he locates the Kuyang's real body and throws it into the burning cabin. As her body burns, the Kuyang grows weaker. Bimo then attacks Kuyang Mina by striking her heart, finally killing her for good. After Mina's death, the next scene shows that everything in the village returns to normal. The villagers now realize that the flood that struck the village wasn't caused by Tombi, but by Mina. Bimo and Sri see Tombi and her husband again, but when they return to the village, they learn that both of them had actually died earlier that night. Bimo then understands that what they saw were the souls of Tombi and her husband. In the movie's post-credit scene, it's revealed that the danger hasn't completely disappeared from the village. A mysterious girl with her face covered is shown reviving Kuyang Mina's head, bringing the story to an unsettling end. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.